Hi y'all, it's Denise and I am in my studio working on a bunch of stuff. I have a commission piece. I'm getting ready for an art walk this next weekend, and I have a couple things I've been wanting to do, and one of them is creating texture on. This is just a kind of a muslin. I forget what this fabric's called, but it's kind of a cotton and it's got a really nice little nubbiness to it. Let me cut a chunk of this off. Let's see, which way are we going here? Here's a good chunk. Doesn't really matter, you know, how big the piece is. And this is going to be a couple steps. So I'm going to show you step one. And I wish I had a piece. Oh, I do actually. What I'm wanting to create, let's see if I can get this in here, is this textured piece right here. It's done on fabric with gesso. And I'm going to show you how I do this. I actually learned how to do this from one of my students. So what I'm using is super heavy gesso. I'm going to just take some and plop it on there. And then I'm going to, this would probably be easier if I had it taped down. But I just want to do a thin coat over the whole piece of fabric. And it's actually kind of cool to have spots that get missed. And you'll see why when I get done with this. Let me see, let me turn it. Just to kind of get my gesso on evenly. Okay, doesn't need to be perfect. Matter of fact, I like it when it's not so perfect. I'm going to pull my edges out a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to let that set up, and then I'll be back and show you the next step. Okay, I'm going to try this again. This time I'm going to use Plaster Paris. The first go around I used the gesso, and I think the gesso was a little too acrylic, so it's not crunching up the way I need it to crunch up. So what I'm going to do is I have some water here, and probably if you have joint compound, this will work just as well. A little cup in here. But I think a little bit drier of a mix that doesn't have acrylic in it is going to work better for what I want it to do. And I'm not measuring this out. I'm going just by feel. Now when you're doing this, be sure that you don't wash everything out and run it down the sink, because this is plaster and it will clog up your drains once it hardens. I think that's going to be good. Yeah, it's got a nice consistency to it. Now if I let it sit for a minute, it's going to harden up even more. And I don't really want a thick coat. So let me see. Let me just pour some out. I kind of like those skip marks. I'm going to let those stay this time. And I'm doing this pretty quick and easy in my studio. I've got a lot of other projects going on, so I'm doing this for my YouTube friends because it's a cool, just a cool technique that I love, and hopefully this time's going to work out. So I'm going to let this dry up and then I'll come back. Okay, now that this is dried up, it's quite different than the gesso. The gesso isn't doing what I want at all. But now that this is dried, I can tell this is going to work. So what I want to do is just very gently give it a little swunch. You can hear it all cracking. Now, I've got some nice cracking going on here, but what I want to do is I want to seal this off. Now, I'm gonna seal part of it and leave the other side not sealed. Maybe I'll do it like this. No, I'll do it like this. And leave part of it not sealed so you can see what the difference is. So I'm using a matte medium. I'm just going to put it on there. I'm also mixing just a little bit of gloss medium with it. And let me just paint over this. Now you can already see cracks that are happening here in this plaster, which I love, love, love. I don't care if I get so much on the fabric. What I mainly am wanting is to seal off the porousness of the plaster so that when I come back and do a wash over it, it won't just get blotchy. It'll be nice and it'll just flow over it and only seep into the little crevices and into some of the fabric. So and I'm going to leave this section and not do anything on it. I've been wanting to do this for a while and create some new textured pieces and just haven't gotten around to it. So this is a good way to do it, good time to do it while I'm in the studio working on everything else. And my little bird Bob is just chirping away. So now let me set this outside to dry really quick and I'll be back. Okay, so here we go. Now I've got, this piece does not have any medium on it, does not have any matte medium. The rest of it does, maybe a few pieces here and there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my medium and I'm just going to dip my brush into my Nova color. And just scrub it around. Okay, let's see how this works out. And I got some paper towel. Then I'm just adding a little bit more medium just to set everything in. Use my brush, make sure that that raw umber is down in all the little nooks and crannies. And then I've got that great texture. I just love all of this. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. And you can see how this, I was able to wipe off the raw umber because I had a medium to seal that plaster. Here I did not. So I could probably go through and pull some of that up. Doesn't make it wrong, it just makes it know what your options are and how to work it. Because if I keep scrubbing this, I kind of get even a cooler effect because it gets even darker in the crevices. So yeah, simple thing to do. I love doing this. I'll create a bunch of it and then I have it to cut pieces up. Have it to add into my artwork, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Give it a go, give it a try, and literally that's all I got for you this week. So make it a great week, and I will see you next Saturday.